and really explore it as it is right now in this moment, I could probably come home with an endless amount of memories that I'll take with me forever, because everything is changing and evolving, and it would just love to kind of savor what's here and what's here right now, because tomorrow it may be gone.
I was really interested too in what your description of home was in an Umbrella Beach. Because I love the idea of that it's will always be here, unseen and out of sight. So, home?
Yeah, home for me has always been this, very small town, very kind of homebody place for me. It's always been a place of refuge for me, So as an introverted guy, I feel like me as an introvert saying, "Oh, I get to stay home tonight," it's a good thing, versus an extrovert saying, "Oh, I have to stay home tonight." It's like home for me has always been this safe haven. So this kind of secret, secluded, hidden place has always been this exciting to me.
So home is Umbrella Beach in that? I mean, trying to enjoy your journey while you're searching for maybe home, or maybe searching for life. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Home is basically paradise. Home is Hawaii. Home is Umbrella Beach. It's this beautiful place that I don't ever want to leave.
I just think that Umbrella Beach is somewhere in my Mario Kart racing.
Exactly.
I'm trying to think. It's like if I'm Mario, I wonder if one of those lands is called Umbrella Beach.
Totally.
Because there was a thing too that I was thinking as I was going through is I wonder too if you do think video game-ish when you're writing, because you are going in and out of worlds and through.
I do, totally, absolutely. There's an old Nintendo 64 game where you race jet skis. It's
Wave Race.
Wave Race, thank you. Yes,
yes, I love that.
I love that game, and there's so many just amazing things about that game and the worlds that you go into and come out of. And I love how you can go places and do things that you can't do in real life. And I love how things look and things work. And exactly, it's totally like this video game, mindset.
I had to laugh because I think somebody told me do you still play Wave Race?
I do, yeah, still do.
That is too funny, dude. When did you decide it? I mean, because you're thinking, okay, I'm going to cover a song here or there, and all of a sudden, people must go crazy once. Because I think right at first, like, what is this? What is this? When they actually nail it, it's like it's almost as beautiful. I mean, what spiritual thing is in Wave Race? I'm not sure, exactly. But somehow you found something that connected with so many people.
Yeah, it's something about that game. I don't know why. It's a very nerdy thing, but I love that you know it. I love that we're connecting here. Cool.
Well, I should have brought my N64 little console, and we could be playing. Although you probably kick my butt because I just haven't played. Although I will say that, and I just tweeted that I pulled it back out because I'm playing Super Mario 64 because that is so classic, isn't it?
So classic.
And that's what made me think about that kind of stuff. It's like I envision Mario going up and down and underwater, and he's Metal Guy and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, dude, you're right. You're Mario in some
Mario,
ways. Mario searching for God and
jumping through the paintings. Yeah, totally.
And the meteor shower comes down, or maybe that's God. But I love that short little ditty.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a worship song. Absolutely. Yeah.
Feeling God is kind of an interest. That's what I kind of pulled from it. Is when you're actually, because people try to sort of put a picture on God, and maybe there is a picture out there to put on. But to me, it's more of this feeling. Mm-hmm. When something's happening, whether it's between us or at a show or wherever it is, or me out shooting baskets or something. So
exactly. Yeah.
But do you have to go find places to feel and find God, or are you pretty? Is that a practice for you?
It's something very important to me as far as taking time out of each day to really reflect and to read the Word and to spend time in prayer. So there's definitely a connection there.
Do you do that alone?
I do, yeah. Generally every night before I go to bed, I just take an hour and read. I actually just read the book of Ecclesiastes last night, which is Solomon saying the world is useless and life has no meaning and so basically live how you will because God's going to judge you and make sure that you honor the Lord and it's kind of a weird book to read because it's so kind of depressing in that way, saying what is life? It's like chasing the wind. Yeah, but it's very interesting. Yeah.
When you say when that writer is writing about life having no meaning, have you ever sort of been? I was thinking about as I'm kind of, again going through nature and video games and all that kind of stuff. I wonder if you've ever been told that you're writing silly little songs. Have you ever, or do you ever feel that sometimes when at the end of a song you kind of go like, God, it just got a great vibe, but it doesn't have that much depth to it. But
Yeah.
it works.
Sometimes I do, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
You just let it be.
sometimes I have, you have to let
That's
it be.
yeah, right.
And you know, I'm a very much of a perfectionist, so I'm always like, oh, is this what I want to say in the song? Is there something else I should be saying, or is the song finished yet, or is this really what needs to be said in it? And it's like I'm always second guessing. So sometimes you just have to let it be.
Well, like maybe dental care, right? Where it's just sort of fun, goofy,
cheeky, yeah.
Yep,
You gotta have one of those.
Is what it is. But I thought Tip of the Iceberg was on the other side of that, because I think you're describing how tough the world can be, and you're searching for. Well, you say it right there, right? You're searching for change.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, I'll do whatever it takes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Farewell, powdery paradise. But are you writing about do you go imagery? Do you just try to go in your mind and find crazy places, or do you have to go to places where you've actually been and that kind of a thing?
Generally, it's mainly coming from my own mind and you know, coming up with these wild places. Although
and making words work, syllables, and how they.
Yeah, you know, that's always kind of like a puzzle, because for me, I always end up writing the music first, and I always even end up writing the vocal melodies just, you know, with da-da-das first, and then I come back later and plug in lyrics. So sometimes I need a 2-syllable word, you know, a word, and all I have is a 4, you know, syllable or whatever. So it's sometimes, I think that makes for catchier songs ultimately, but sometimes it's tough to, you know, I have to cram all this stuff into one line, and how am I going to do it? And, you know,
so are you like major Google guide? And
totally.
You have your own rhyming dictionary inside.
Yeah, absolutely. I never travel without it. It's a beat up and dog eared, you know, but I gotta have it.
So let me jump to off the same record.
Cool.
Tidal Wave.
Yeah.
But obviously much more depth into it, because I think it's about feeling regret, isn't it? And God's out there giving you grace even when you've messed up, right?
Exactly. Even when you don't deserve it, you know, there's a line at the end, you know, I don't need a telescope to see that there's hope, because it's right there in front of me, and that makes me feel brave, and I like how that
feeling brave is, man, what a good feeling.
Yeah.
I don't even think about that word that much.
Me either, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. Because all I see is shattered conscience staring right back at me. Yeah, I think that's maybe the worst time for me, is when I figure out I've really messed this thing up.
Yeah.
Instead of somebody else. It's so much easier to just throw the blame out there, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah. But often it's right there in the mirror, and sometimes you just have to come to grips with it and repent of it, you know, and say, God, you know, help me out here, because I'm nothing without you. Yeah.
Well, and is that maybe why you write This Is the Future, too? Because you have to kind of let that glow. Let that glow. Maybe that's what I do mean.
I mean, yeah.
But let that go and embrace life.
Yeah. You know, sometimes it's easy to stay living in the past and stay, you know, wrestling with those demons of the past that you've had to deal with forever. And sometimes you just have to say, no, I'm going to stop living in the past and start focusing on right now and the future, and making sure that I'm on the right track. Yeah.
Well, you have a line in there, dive in and swim away from your loneliness and miserable days. I guess I think that loneliness is really rampant out there.
Yeah.
You know, and it makes me sad, but I also know that, like, you're an introvert, right? It's easy for you to want to be alone.
Yeah.
But it's easy to sort of slide into loneliness too, isn't it?
Exactly. That's the danger. Yeah, that's kind of the deep end, and loneliness, and certainly insecurity. And my thing too also has always been kind of anxiety. That's always been kind of a thing for me, and just trying to fight that. And you know, it's part of the struggle, and it'll probably be the same way every day for the rest of my life. But you know, you just have to take it a day at a time.
How do you fight it? Do you fight it with prayer, or do you fight it with meds?
Fight it with prayer. No meds yet. Thankfully, music has always been kind of my way of escaping, and you know, that's kind of why I started writing it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Exactly.
I don't know how that just came out of me. I have various Reliant K titles stuck in my.
They're all great. I do too.
But I think that's the toughest thing too. Is when we know we're heading toward that.
Yeah.
And it's hard to get back on the bicycle and start pedaling back uphill where you need to go, because it's just so easy cruising down this. Oh, you know what? Another episode of Seinfeld, or get Wave Race back out, and not think too much about it.
Yeah, apathy is easy. Is an easy thing to fall into, for sure.
Has that been the toughest thing for you, being an introvert? Is having to be an extrovert on stage?
Yeah, that's been a tricky thing as far as switching gears over from the very secluded, world that is the studio kind of scientist, evil genius guy in his in his studio to being, oh man, I have to sing songs for 75 minutes on stage in front of other people that I don't know. Right. It's like a scary thing. So it's been definitely a switch. But just like with anything, the more you do it, the better you get at it. And now, I feel like if those pre-show butterflies ever went away, I feel like the magic would probably stop. And I don't want that to happen. So
yeah, so anxiety has turned into pre-show butterflies. That's probably a good thing, right?
Yeah, that's a good thing.
So I just interviewed Rachel and Trevor from He Is We, which I just love those guys. They're so great. Mm-hmm. But I asked them; they haven't even met you. You've not met them since I interviewed them.
I've met Rachel on email.
Oh, that's it. But you just grabbed their song and you decided, I love this song so much that I need to, quote unquote, do my own version, or at least throw in your vocals in it rather than Aaron Gillespie's.
They were, and by the way, Aaron's version of it is brilliant. I think.
Yes,
it's
I love Aaron
amazing.
Too. Yeah,
he's a great guy. Actually, He Is We was on Universal Motown record, and then when they merged with my record label, Universal Republic, they were sort of inherited. And the song came around because I knew that they were, talking about doing kind of another version for radio and whatever, and that version wound up in my inbox, and I'd never heard the original song before, but I listened to it, and it was like one of those epiphany moments where I was like, wow, this is a brilliant song.
Right.
I would be honored to be able to kind of give my spin on it, and they were gracious and wonderful guys, so it was awesome.
Yeah, well, I can't wait for you to meet them because they are just as talented as they are just as genuine of people. That's when I think, boy, this whole world is great when you finally when it all meshes, right?
Yeah,
it's a good thing. Hey, I'll go back just a couple of records to Maybe I'm Drowning, Rainbow Veins. There's lines in there, for heaven's sake, keep me awake so I won't be caught off guard. Clearly, I'm a passerby, but I'll find a place to stay. Dear Pacific Day, won't you take me away? Are you looking out and just trying to figure out what life? It's so confusing and so great. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
All in the same thing.
All in the same thing. There's a million ways you can go. That song was written, quite a while ago about, I'm at this crossroads. Which way do I go? And, you want to make sure that you're making the right choices, and you just got to, trust sometimes and go with it. Yeah.
Are you searching for a spiritual connection and I'll meet you there? I mean, really deep within yourself. Is that where you're searching for God in that song? Yeah,
it's kind of it can kind of be interpreted as just kind of a relational thing, or certainly this kind of inward search. But yeah, I think it's accurate. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Did you have a West Coast friendship with the world of Hollywood?
I never did. No, that was kind of written from the imagination, and just thinking about that. But I've always been kind of the guy standing off to the side, the kind of loner. So I never really had.
So do you still live in Minnesota then?
I do. Yeah.
Do you still live with your parents?
I don't. Thankfully, no. I know. I actually moved out a couple years ago, but got a place of my own. I live alone. I sleep in the basement. It's pretty cool.
Well, of course, it's probably rarely home, though, right? Because
rarely
home is your bunk for too many hours of the day. Hey, thanks for the time, man.
Of course,
I can't tell you how much I appreciate your work.
Thank you,
and I appreciate you just like He Is We. I just appreciate you being a good guy, right?
Of course,
because at the end of the day, it's sort of these relationships that sort of make life worthwhile and keep moving. So
exactly, well, I appreciate it too.